You've noticed this. Some people speak calmly and others listen. Others explain, argue, try, and get interrupted, ignored, dismissed. And it's not about the words, not about logic. You can be right. You can be competent. But if you're lower in the unspoken hierarchy, your words carry no weight. The problem isn't that you speak poorly. The problem is where you speak from. Not content, but position. Not arguments, but status. People think respect comes after results. In reality, position is formed first, and perception adjusts to it. Now let's break down the mechanisms that change this. You're interrupted, questioned, pressured. Your first instinct is to respond immediately, quickly, to prove your point. You think speed shows confidence, but an instant reaction puts you in a reactive position, and the one who reacts is always lower. When you pause, you're not just answering, you're deciding whether to answer at all. This isn't silence, it's control over entry into the conversation. You're pulled into small things, distracted, overloaded with others' tasks. You engage because it's quick. You think, this helps relationships. But constant availability erases your value. People get used to you as a resource without a threshold. When you start limiting your availability, you change the structure of interaction. This isn't coldness, it's a frame. You over-explain, add details, hedge your words. You think, the clearer I explain, the better I'll be understood. But long explanations sound like justification, and the one who justifies is lower. When you speak briefly and close the point, you're not asking for agreement, you're defining your position. This isn't harshness, it's clarity. You're asked to take on more, do it faster, jump in urgently. You start explaining why you can't. You think, I need to justify it. But every explanation is an invitation to argue. When you refuse without over-defending, you show that your decision isn't open for negotiation by default. This isn't conflict, it's a boundary. You do a lot, but quietly. You think, results will speak for themselves. But the system doesn't just account for what's done, it accounts for what's expressed. When you start naming your results, bringing them into shared space, perception shifts. You're considered not because you're louder, but because you've become visible. This isn't self-promotion, it's presence. And now the key point. From the outside, all of this looks like small things. A pause, a short sentence, a refusal. But inside the system, these are signals. You don't rush, so others don't rush you. You don't over-explain, so people don't argue with you by default. You're not always available, so others adjust to you. You state your contribution, so you're taken into account. This isn't behavior, it's a shift in position. Hierarchy in a group isn't announced, it's perceived. Through rhythm, through boundaries, through how much you give without conditions. And if you're always lower, the problem isn't that people don't respect you. The problem is that you're signaling a position that's easy not to respect. Now, an important turn. This isn't about playing a role or wearing a mask, and it's not about becoming harsh or unpleasant. It's about stopping the automatic surrender of your time, attention, and reactions. Start noticing where you rush unnecessarily, where you explain when you don't need to, where you agree just to avoid tension, where you stay invisible despite doing more than others. Stop confusing politeness with submission and flexibility with lack of boundaries. The world won't change. People won't suddenly respect everyone equally. The system won't become transparent. But you can change what it reads from you. And at that moment, a shift happens. Not because you became someone else, but because you stop being a convenient place where pressure can be offloaded. And then your words start to carry weight, not because of volume, but because of position.